On episode 40 of the podcast, I'm going to talk about Christmas lights, Secret Santa, and listener mail. I'm very excited for that. I'm like Big Kev. I'm excited. Hello, and welcome to another edition of Luke Who's Talking podcast with me, Luke. The last one, I think, for 2019. The last one for this decade of life. I don't know. We'll be back in the roaring 20s. Yeah, but not so roaring. There you go. Anyway, now, the first story. Now, Christmas lights. Now, I don't know about where you live, but where I live, it's a bit of a thing that you go around and you look at houses that have Christmas lights on them. So the other day, some friends and I went and did just that. So we piled into one of my friends' cars with some classic dance hits playing on the what do you call it? They had a box of CDs in their car, which I've got to say, quite nostalgic. Put a CD in, classic dance hits, or what it was, and yeah, we had Barbra Streisand, that playing, and other various dances. Anyway, so that was cool. And we went around various places. One place we went to was pretty crazy. We exited the vehicle, and this house was like a little bit of an internal block sort of thing. Anyway, they had a garden that was comprehensive, just full of stuff. Garage was full of, things. It was pretty crazy, but it was beaten. I think it looks like it's beaten. There was one cul-de-sac that pretty much every house in it had lights. About half a dozen? No. Ooh, more than that. I don't know. A dozen. I don't know. Whatever. This cul-de-sac and a little street area every house had lights on it, but one setup we saw absolutely took the Christmas cake. And there was a house we went to which actually had a radio frequency, so in your car you could tune to 101.8 FM, and there was music playing. So there'd be classics like, what's that Mariah Carey song? All I want for Christmas is Cheryl, and other various songs. There was dubstep, Christmas carols as well. But as this music was playing through the radio that you could listen to in your car, the lights on the house were flashing and, were like playing in sync with the music. So that was pretty crazy. That was pretty wild indeed. And we're just there, Mariah Carey finishes, and then, whoa, dubstep Christmas carols, and the lights going, lights going crazy, and it was an absolute wild setup, for sure. It was pretty crazy. But you've got to admit, whoever did the setup, absolutely so much time and effort would have been put into it, because they would have been like, oh, I've got to pick some songs. So they picked songs. And then to get the music the lights to flash and play and jitter with the music was quite impressive. It was quite impressive indeed. Anyway, Secret Santa, that's coming up next. Yeah. So at my workplace, we had Secret Santa, and my Secret Santa was the big boss. Yeah. The big cheese, the head serang, the top dog, the squire, the main man. So I had the big boss, which I was unsure about because I don't have much to do with them, right? Don't have very little interaction with the big boss. Anyway, But when I pulled their name out, I was told I could have had another dip. But anyway, I decided to keep their name. And so the boss, their name's Tim. I won't reveal their whole name. But anyway, their name's Tim. So you know what I got Tim? I got Tim a piece of wood. Yeah. So I got a piece of wood here from home, gave it a little bit of a sand, tidied it up, and then I painted Tim-BER on it. I painted Tim Burr on this piece of wood. And then I got on good old Libre office here, changed the font to typewriter, and wrote a little note that said, how do you hold a Tim Tam before you slam? And what else did it say? There was other various things. And I also wrote a little bit of a rhyme, which was how much wood could Tim hold if Tim could hold wood on there too. And then, of course, superbly signed at the bottom by Santa Claus himself. But, yeah, I was like, what have I got to get the boss? I have no idea. I was like, timber. I was like, oh, yeah, I could get a piece of wood and paint timber on it, which I did. And I was very unsure. I thought, this is either going to go well or it's going to completely bomb. But luckily, it went well, and there were some lols around the building. And I think the boss has actually gone. He just put it on his desk or something like that. It'd be a good paperweight for him. That's for sure. That's for sure. So, yeah, that went down pretty well. In return, I got my gift from my secret Santa, who I actually know who it is. But my gift was a comedy T-shirt, which, for those of you who know me, I am a fan of the comedy T-shirt. So, yeah, so they got me a fun T-shirt, which was good. I think it was a very good gift. But but Secret Santa can be tricky because there was a lot of like wine given out, and somebody got somebody got like a 4-pack of vodka cruisers, and whatever else. But yeah, so I got Tim a piece of timber. There you go. Good pun, I think happening there. Anyway, now let's get into the. I'm excited for this for listener mail. Good day. I am Mr. Alfred Chek Yung Chow, the Director for Credit and Marketing Chong Hing Bank, Hong Kong. Chong Hing Bank Centre, 24 Des Vues, which sounds French to me, Road Central, Hong Kong. I have a business proposition of $38,980,369, and then in brackets, $38,980,369 US, only for you to transact with me from my bank to your country. All confirmable documents to back up the claims will be made available to you prior to your acceptance and as soon as I receive your return mail, and I will let you know what is required of you. Your earliest response to this letter will be appreciated. Best regards, Alfred Chik Yung Chow. Well, Alfred, if you're listening, thanks for the email, but I have 2 problems with it, okay? First of all, you didn't send me a letter, okay? It says here, your earliest response to this letter will be appreciated. Well, it's not a letter, it's an email, okay? And second of all, it says that said $38,980,369 is only for you. I say it's only for me, which is great, but then it says that it will be transacted from Mr. Alfred to the bank. Oh, let me try this again. So the money only for you, so it's only for me, to transact with me, so that's Mr. Alfred, from his bank to your country. Now, I don't want the Australian government to be getting my $80,369. And also, why can't you just round it up to an even, like 39 million? That'd be great as well. So, a couple of problems there. Round it up to 39 million. You haven't sent me a letter. Okay, it's an email. And also, I don't want the money to be going to the bank of my country, right? I want it to be going into my bank, right? I want it to be going into mine. I don't want ScoMo's hands of my 39 million, right? He'll probably spend it on a bloody holiday to Hawaii or something. Jeez, Alfred, send me an email with, your criteria for fixing those couple of things. Thanks. Well, that is it for this episode of the podcast. Now, before I go, just a couple of quick things. I hope you all had a good Christmas and Boxing Day and will subsequently have a good New Year. Speaking of a New Year, next episode I'll be getting into some goals I have for 2020. Now, as I teased a little bit earlier, on social media, you can follow me at Luke Who's Talking, at L_Who's Talking on Twitter, and we're on Facebook. You can send me an email, of course, as Mr. Alfred did. Now, here's a question I have for you. Next year in 2020, I want to watch 100 movies, right? Now, I did think, should I give you a little bit of review of the movies I've watched here on the podcast, or should I start or have a letterbox account and I could do a little bit of a review on there, and I could maybe put a link to that in the podcast description here and say, so I watched, these movies since the last episode of the podcast. Check out the letterbox to have a read of the review maybe. Because if I could be bothered, I would possibly start a spin-off podcast, but still, because I would probably do that like the week in between I have this, so I would still be talking about like 4 movies or whatever, because to get to 100, I have to watch at least 2 a week, average about 2 a week. So should I start a letterbox, or should I just give you a brief rundown of the movies I've watched here on the podcast? Maybe just have 2 stories and then the movie segment as the third bit. I'm not sure. Tweet me, send me an email. If you know me personally, send me a text or whatever. Anyway, thoughts on... Ooh, that's a big spike. Thoughts on that, listener, please. Thank you. Have a good time, and I'll talk to you in 2020.